Breath.
All right, calling to order Historic Landmarks Commission, August 26, 2026. Let's have a roll call.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Chair Grumbine.
Present.
Vice Chair Uli.
Present.
Commissioner Butler.
Here.
Commissioner Dorden.
Here.
Commissioner Ensberg is not here yet. Commissioner Lenvik.
Present.
Commissioner McClure.
Here.
And Commissioner Rivera is walking in right now. We have quorum. Thank you.
All right. Great. All right, let's go on to item A, public comment. Any member of the public may address the commission for up to 2 minutes on any subject within our jurisdiction that is not scheduled on this agenda for public discussion. All right, so does anyone want to talk about something not on our agenda today? Okay. All right.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I don't have any virtual participants, and with no one standing up for general public comment, I will just acknowledge that we did receive written correspondence from Kevin Boss, which was distributed to the commission prior to the meeting. With that, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. On to item B, approval of the minutes of Historic Landmarks Commission, August 12th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Pardon
Now
my
we go
interruption,
open
we should
public
open
comment.
public comment.
Okay,
please.
so now we will go to public comment. We'll get the hang of it yet. For this item, for the approval of our minutes, is there any public comment?
Thank you, Chair Grumbine.
She's here.
Oh,
Over the minutes?
Well, we're in public comment, so
yeah.
we are, but we're public comment on everything.
Yeah. Who's
Public
on
comment
B?
Public comment on the public comment.
Yes. Okay, so back to the public.
For public comment, if there's anyone who'd like to speak on the approval of the minutes, please stand up to spell out a speaker slip. Not seeing any movement on that, and then we did not receive any written correspondence, and we do not have any virtual participants. So back to you.
All right. All right, to the commission now for any edits for our minutes of August 12th. Does anyone have any edits or anything? Everyone good? Okay, looking good. So let's have a roll call vote for approval.
Thank you. Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden.
Abstain.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvik.
Yes.
Commissioner McClure.
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli.
Yes.
And Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. On to item C, ratification of action taken on the consent calendar of August 26, 2026.
Yes, thank you, Chair Grumbine. I'll go ahead and read the actions into the record. So we had item A 2925 Paseo del Refugio was postponed indefinitely at the applicant's request. Item B 256 Eucalyptus Hill Drive received project design approval and final approval with the required findings met. And item C, 417 Bath Street received project design approval with the required findings met.
All right. So now, do we have a motion first?
So moved.
Yeah. All right, and the second?
I'll second that.
All right.
But I have a question as well.
Let's do public comment first, and then we'll go to questions from us. Okay, public comment.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. If there's anyone in the room who'd like to speak on the ratification of today's consent calendar, please stand up. Not seeing any movement on that, and then we did not receive any written correspondence, and we do not have any virtual participants. So back to you.
All right, so now to the commission for discussion. Go for it, Commissioner Lendick.
What's the difference between 256 Eucalyptus Hill Drive on the consent calendar and item 1 on our agenda?
Trees.
Yeah, sure. So the consent item was regarding tree removal, and the item on full board agenda is a new observatory proposal.
I see. And they can be bifurcated.
They certainly were and can.
Yes, that's correct. They can have concurrent applications.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's have a roll call vote.
Thank you. Commissioner Lenvik.
Yes.
Commissioner McClure.
Yes.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorden.
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli.
Yes.
And Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right. On to item, sorry, we got minutes. D, announcements, requests by applicants for continuance and withdrawals, future agenda items, and appeals.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine and Commissioners. Staff just has one announcement today, so we just wanted to inform you that the State Street Master Plan and Title 31 ordinance amendments are scheduled for adoption at City Council on Tuesday, September 1st. So staff will go ahead and send you an email with a link to the council agenda once it's been posted. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I have an announcement.
Commissioner Jordan.
I want to take a moment to alert the Santa Barbara community and the members of this commission to proposed changes in Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, which was passed originally in 1966. Section 106 establishes crucial thresholds for required public reviews of federal projects. The current administration is proposing sweeping changes to Section 106 that would, among other things, eliminate protections for historic architecture and cultural landscapes, severely limit the rights of states and local governments to be notified and given a chance to comment on projects in their jurisdictions, reduce protections for significant cultural landscapes, and in addition, limit tribal rights as they pertain to the protection of Native American archaeological sites and artifacts. The National Trust for Historic Preservation, the Society of Architectural Historians, of which I am a member, and the California Preservation Foundation have all issued urgent calls for their members to educate themselves on the proposed changes. This is not the time nor the place for a discussion of the proposed changes. Instead, I am distributing to HLC members a one-page briefing sheet issued by the National Trust for Historic Preservation with additional information and a link to the National Trust website where interested parties can follow the latest developments and learn more about when and how to take action on efforts to revise Section 106. That's it. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Jordan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Would you mind reciting the website just so the public can
Yeah.
link to it?
The website is, this is a National Trust for Historic Preservation site. The website is savingplaces.org/section 106, all lowercase. savingplaces.org/section 106.
Thank you. All right, any other announcements, et cetera? All right, hearing none, let's go on to item E, subcommittee reports. Were there any subcommittees that met and/or have things to report?
Nothing from designations.
Go for it, Commissioner Ensberg.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Grumbine. For our, the State Street, or not State Street,
Yeah, State Street Interim Working Group. Yeah.
and regarding the West Figueroa Paseo that we have talked about last time, and I have an update for today that I received from Chelsea Swanson. And today and tomorrow, paving work is continuing to be leveled out and uplifted areas replaced, to make it level. And on the 28th, they will be fixing broken tiles. And then on September 1 through 4, they will be painting the epoxy, the color that we picked out. And then on September 9 through 10, they're going to be adding the new landscaping, and the large pot should be delivered that week as well. So they are still waiting to get the cage for the electrical, the utilities on the side of the one building there. And so we had requested that it might be a good idea for at least Commissioner McClure, and I'd be happy to be there too, the morning that they're going to start doing the landscape early in the morning, just to be there, just to check and be sure that the placement, plants are, looking good. So maybe by the mid to end of September, we might actually be complete.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the update and report. And, and not for all the continued work. All right, any other subcommittee reports? All right, seeing none, let's go on to item 1. We're 5 minutes early, but if everyone's here, we can get started. Okay, let's do item 1, pre-application design consultation for 256 Eucalyptus Hill Drive designated a structure of merit constructed in 1913 and designed by Francis T. Underhill in the Italian Mediterranean style. Proposal for a new 950 square foot observatory with attached control room, site steps and walkways, and tennis court and viewing platform. 1,080 cubic yards of grading proposed, 540 cut, 540 fill. When a formal planning application is submitted, the project will require staff hearing officer approval of an accessory building floor area modification to allow the site to exceed the total maximum allowed accessory building floor area. The one-time pre-application design consultation regarding the proposed location, materials, and associated improvements for the observatory, tennis court, and viewing platform, and aesthetic appropriateness of the proposed observatory and associated zoning modification. No final appealable action will take place at this hearing. Project compatibility findings will be required for project design approval. All right, there's the historic significance report. All right, so with that, welcome. If you could introduce yourselves for the record, we'll go to staff for any comments, and then we'll have you present.
Don Nolte, architect.
Oh, and if you can press there, yeah.
Don Nolte, architect.
Darn Shea with Don Nolte.
Trish Allen with SEPS Land Use Consulting. If I may, I was going to make a couple introductory comments, but I believe that your reading of the agenda item covers it all.
Okay,
We're
great.
here for a design consultation, early feedback on these features for the Solana property, and the observatory structure is considered an accessory building. And I'd have to go to the plans and see exactly how much accessory floor area the observatory would exceed the minimum allowed, but we do have that. Thank you, Tarn. So the accessory structure total is, the existing accessory buildings already exceed the code allowance, and so the observatory is going to push us a little bit above that maximum, so we will be processing or applying for a zoning modification. So we're here to get your comments too, and
Yep.
you probably comment on it again when we file our formal application, which we are working on, but we wanted to get your early feedback first. The stormwater management plan, the civil drawings are going to be pretty technical, so we wanted to come to you first before we started that effort. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dawn.
Yeah, and then I just want to check with staff if there's any additional comments before we get started.
I have no additional comments. I think the agenda
Okay,
and
great.
applicant covered it.
Okay, and this is just a one-time pre-application, so.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
with that, well, yeah, why don't you take
Well,
us through the design?
I'd like to start by mentioning that we came before your commission about 5 years ago for some miscellaneous additions and enhancements to the motor court, and the restoration of the original crescent-shaped swimming pool, which had become a koi pond. And the results of all that work is truly beautiful. Right now, probably the best thing to do is review the photographs we have for the area of work. And it's all basically located on a very inaccessible part of the site. So this particular photo right here, shows a retaining wall that holds up the auto court. And the driveway you see in front of that is the driveway leading to the main garage. All of the work we're proposing is even beyond, in front of all of that. So the second photo, we're now down on the lower level. There's a flat tier there that we are placing the observatory on. And additional photos, just more photos of that, and further on. Another shot, more where the winding path is, we'll talk about in a minute. Other views of the area where the tennis court would go. And this shot is a wall that comes down from the main level. The observatory is above all of that in that area right there. Kind of what the site looks like now, where the tennis court is going. There's not much there. It's a lot of eucalyptus. Today's earlier case that you mentioned is removal of some trees that were kind of dangerously close to power lines. And going into our drawings, I wanted to first thing solve this accessibility problem. So we're coming off the level at the top, of the driveway for the lower garage, and we've created a new stair system there. And then once it hits the ground, we start terracing down steps, and 2 or 3 spots on this path, we're also able to give access to the observatory. So it's solving all of our problems with getting down to the tennis court. Winding on down, it lands at the viewing platform for the tennis court. The tennis court's been carefully situated, so we're minimizing the cut and fill. We're balancing it. As a result, the lower level, or the lower side of the tennis court comes out of the ground at about 8 feet. So, and it's cut into the higher side about the same amount. We think with 8 foot of screening that we don't think that 8 feet is an unusual amount to have to screen. I think we can easily do that. And it's not a very accessible part of the site to the community. Additionally, the viewing platform would all be constructed with materials. We have a lot of arbors at the main house, plaster, and with the same railing details we would use up at the house. Going back up the path to the observatory, I wanted to talk about how this has evolved and how it got placed precisely where it is. We've been working with the experts and the scientists that help develop these observatories, and there's a very careful spot at which the base of the telescope must rest. It took a while to establish that, and that angle allows us to clear the vegetation and other structures in the area. You can probably go to the cross-section of that drawing right now. So the pier there is what supports the telescope, and it's going to be drilled into rock, so it can't vibrate at all. But the top of that black area is the elevation that we've been given, and that's where the telescope sits. And you can see that 15-degree radius we have. That's the lowest viewing angles. And so once we had that elevation, then we were able to house with the dome and the other supporting floors. The other buildings that support basically have a lot of electronic gear, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and possibly a restroom in the lower level. So there is a 2-level, the lower level is actually where we'll have the equipment. And the upper level is basically just a very pristine spot. There's an eyepiece that comes down from the telescope that you literally, 42 inches sitting in a chair, can view the observatory. A little bit about why for the observatory. The sciences, and particularly astronomy, are a huge interest of the owners. But an even larger interest is their cultivation and the interest in the STEMs, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in our schools. So this is actually a collaborative effort with scientists and the owner and different foundations to help develop all of these STEMs with one common goal, and that's the cultivation of interest in astronomy, astrophysics, and space for our youth, but also as a resource for dedicated academic research. The charter upon which this facility was initiated was put this telescope to work for the public schools, colleges, academic researchers, which they accomplished through a comprehensive community outreach program. So that sounds great, but how does this actually work? And that's the most, I think, exciting part of the proposal. These observatories now are can be operated remotely. And once you're given the credentials, you can actually view this from your home, your cell phone, at a school, or any remote institution. A few words about the operation of the telescope. It only operates at night in clear weather. The observatory has an automated weather system that closes the dome at predetermined thresholds for rain, humidity, etc. And the telescope rotates using dead silent magnetic motors. So it's a good neighbor. You wouldn't know it was operating. It hates light, so it doesn't generate that. And it only works in the night, basically at night in clear, dark sky. So that's our initial opening. We have a letter from Pamela Post and Tim Hazeltine, and they are supportive of the concept, including the placement of the tennis court and observatory, the scale, bulk, and massing and materiality of the new construction, which reference materials have characterized the property since that creation, its initial creation. This includes the use of employment of plaster, stonework, and the observatory's copper roof, which will develop a deep patina over time. Tennis courts were a characteristic feature of many historic estates in the vicinity of Solana, including Arcady. So this addition would not introduce a use or feature that is out of character with this estate. While observatories were not a feature of large early 20th century estates, follies, small outbuildings, tea houses, and summer houses were especially on large estates like Arcady. Consequently, the observatory, which will read as this type of landscape feature, is appropriate. So,
All right. Does that complete your presentation?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go now to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. Starting with in-person public comment, if there's anyone in the room who'd like to speak on this item, please stand up and fill out a speaker slip and come to the podium. Not seeing any movement on that. We do not have any virtual participants as of right now, and we did not receive any written correspondence. So with that, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
All right. To the commission for questions. Who wants to start us off with any questions? Commissioner Butler.
Could we look at the rendering of the outside of the observatory a little more? I think from our role, that's a more fundamental part to what we participate in. And I guess I'll pose this as a question. The external design, will that somewhat mimic or closely mimic the architecture of the house, the residence itself?
yes, we're trying to absolutely simplify the architecture. There's circular stair forms. We thought the circular.
Well, I wanted to ask about that. The Lombard Street configuration that you have, is there a benefit? There must be a reason for that. Is there a benefit to that, like from drainage or water management?
No, it's just so steep that
It's
just so steep, yeah.
Pardon my interruption. Through the chair to the applicant, please make sure you're using your mics
Okay.
and that they're on. Thank you.
Great.
So,
Oh.
So it's steep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we had 3 studies for that, and this seemed to be the most that could be blended in with just from looking up at it, it will look like a landscaped garden. And
It's elegant. And the primary entrance, I take it from the drawings illustration, is at the highest level of the descent. And then even in this photo here I'm pointing to, is that a different, yes, is that a secondary entry or?
That's the entrance to the actual viewing.
That is, okay, thank you.
Yeah. And if you get onto the path and go down, it'll take you into the lower floor where the equipment would be.
Oh, okay. And then, this is a strange question, but are you going to have to put in caissons, et cetera, to support the
Yeah,
structure?
that's great about this. The driveway, the rig will sit there and it just reach out and it can hit all the caissons that support the structure. So the pier will actually be independent from the building. One could settle without settling the telescope.
Right. Okay, thank you.
All right. Commissioner Jordan.
Can you talk about how much power will be required? This is an auxiliary building, but it's not an ADU. Will it take more power than a typical ADU?
Yeah, it will. And over the course of the restoration of this project, there's ample electricity. It's been updated for
Okay.
service.
So you don't anticipate adding a major amount of electrical power to the,
Correct.
okay,
And additionally, the main house is a large solar array, so we're generating
Okay.
electricity.
Okay.
All right. Other questions? Yeah, Commissioner Ensberg?
Thank you. Thank you for this presentation. I just have a few questions. One is, could you show us in your map, like where the closest neighbors are? Do you have something that shows that?
Site plan? Just if you get to the original.
Quite a distance.
I think the colored rendering is best. The colored site plan. Yeah, that's,
Closest is, right now, it's going to be here off to our west.
so at the bottom of the drawing, there's some homes that are separated with this, through this eucalyptus forest. On the left side of this, what you're looking at now, there's a close neighbor there, but, I mean, there is a house on the other side. But we're still over 150 feet from that. So we really aren't, that's not one of our problems with this site, is there's not a lot of adjoining close neighbors.
Okay, thank you. And then, I know it's on here, but could you just remind us of the overall height of the observatory?
The 30 feet is to the telescope.
Top of dome to natural grade.
Top of dome to natural grade is 30 feet.
The height limit line is very light on what I see there.
So we're following the 30-foot.
From the drawing, it's a little bit easier to see.
And so is it, and just to add clarity on that, so it's just meets it or just,
We're just meeting it.
yeah?
And actually, in the last week, this dome has shrunk a few, from a 5.5 meter to a 5 meter dome. So that actually will sneak under there another 6, 8, 10 inches.
Okay.
So the dimension, this dimension you show here on the, which is what, 30 feet on the right?
Yes.
So from that point to the top of the dome would be a dimension I'd like to know.
30 feet.
No, it's 30.
No, it's not.
It's 30
We're
feet
measuring-
offset from the,
Travels the grade.
and from the, so the, just to be clear, the height limit, as you're showing in the line, is per code, what is required to fit within. And then what you're asking for is a different number, which is from what point in the grade are you asking for it to the top of the dome? Yeah, because in those elevations, what is the overall structure height? Or is that what you're asking?
Yes,
Okay.
just from that point.
Well, we,
30, 31,
To there.
32, 23 to base of dome, and then 9.5 feet to the top of dome.
So 30, 39 and a half.
yes,
32,
32 feet.
32 plus 1.
Yeah, okay. Does that answer your question?
I don't think I'm clear. So you're saying that
23 plus 9.
So
Well, that's from the floor,
deck.
that's
Yeah,
from the
that's
floor, that is not from the grade, I'm asking.
Top of the wall, top of dome is 9 feet, so 23 plus 9 feet is how high the building is.
But that's from floor, right?
That's from the floor,
Yeah, but you're asking from.
From the grade.
Exterior grade.
yes. So
Okay.
then the
Then
previous,
you would add whatever that exterior grade is at a couple feet at, around, depending on around
so
where.
maybe it's
you're
another
taking-
4 or 5 feet or something like that, 35 or something?
They have a site section right there, well, we see it right there, 30 foot, but that's not to,
It's taking it to
That's not
the,
the building height.
to the,
So
to the
it's
telescope.
probably from that same point is probably roughly 35 feet, whatever. Although I do want to make sure that we're clear, that is an arbitrary, that deck could go out any distance, right? So I guess part of my question to you, Commissioner Ensberg, is what are you trying to figure out with this question? Are you trying
I'm
to figure out
trying
the
to-
apparent
yeah, I'm just trying to understand what the.
visualization, like how
yeah.
much it comes up out of the hill? So then that terrace comes up, whatever, 5 feet or 7 feet, and then the next step back would be the next visual, like, step out of it.
Yes, and I understand about going with the grade
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. I understand it depends on where you're taking it from. I'm just asking here, in this section, it's going from the grade at that point up to the 30 feet, which is allowed, and then showing how it's sort of angling up. I'm just curious, what is it from there to the top of the dome?
Okay.
Regardless of the,
26 feet or something.
no, I would say it's 30 plus maybe 5 or something.
Yeah,
If you add the understory of that retaining wall, you would add another 5 feet, all heavily,
5, 7 feet, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So 35, 37 feet
and all
roughly.
heavily screened.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I'm
front
not,
of.
I'm not making a judgment on it, I'm just
Okay.
trying to understand. Okay, and then another question is, a couple more questions. On the tennis court, where you have the retaining wall, and you had a photograph or a rendering
rendering of that, yes.
of it, and you're showing it 8 feet here, and can we look at that rendering,
Yes.
please?
One bump below.
I think it was further down, maybe, there, that one. So this one, so that's 8 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
The hedge is 8 feet.
Okay, all right, then just a couple more is, so this is very exciting work, for STEM research. Is this, I would imagine that you're collaborating with people, would this be like working with institutions like UCSB or anything like that?
Yes.
Will there be institutional, any kind of functions like that? Would you have visitors? Do you expect to have a lot of visitors coming here who would also be coming to, look?
No, that's
Is there any
to be
public access?
avoided.
Is there
That-
any public access, I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
Yeah, I think for the owner's use, it may be just friends, but as far as anything, it's academic or institutional or educational, that would all be off-site.
So we're not expecting to see need for any kind of parking or additional people coming here to use the facility or
Absolutely
collaborate
not.
with them? Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
All right. Other questions? Commissioner Butler?
Sorry, I forgot. Visibility by the neighbors, can you address that a little bit?
Yeah.
And then sorry, I'll just give you the two questions.
Yeah.
And the lighting. How, because that's a tennis court, and I don't see any lights on it.
That's
So-
correct.
So
I think
can you
that-
address the visibility from the neighborhood's property?
Yes.
And the lighting of the whole
Yeah.
project?
So we had some story poles constructed, so we could inform ourselves to know what kind of effort we needed to reduce the visibility of this. And we drove around town, we knew what to look for. We could see a pole. When you zoom a couple, powers in, but it's so brief and it's so buried in a forest of eucalyptus that so the eucalyptus forest is like that, so you could see the pole between, like that. So, additionally, we're able to, because the telescope is at the top, we can actually screen the plaster very well, but we found it to be just almost very difficult. We know what to look for, and we were going 35 miles an hour, and we would stop our car on Alston Road and say, I think I see it right there.
So do you have it on plan where that would be, the lighting? Or is your point that there is going to be lighting, but it's not noticeable?
No, there'd be no light.
Because you're talking about visibility of the structure, but you're, okay, not, sorry,
There's two
okay.
questions here, visibility and lighting.
Okay, got it.
Because I can see at night, I'm thinking, you light it up, not, whatever, you light something and.
Yeah, so I think it would be beautiful, and I would, as a neighbor, would love to be able to see an observatory, but in fact, it won't be visible from very few properties.
Just wanted, okay.
Okay. So what about the lighting? Okay, no lighting proposed. Okay, great.
Dark
I just
sky.
want to make sure okay. Commissioner Rivera and then Vice Chair Uli.
Just a couple of quick questions. First one has to do with program. I think that the tennis courts are great. We're not getting stop you from doing it, but it seems as a functional aspect of a tennis court, you're walking all the way down to the bottom of the hill, and there's no powder room, restroom, and there's none at the observatory. They're gonna, seems odd. My second question has to do with the visibility aspect that we just spoke about. It seems like, it looks great now, but when you take out the 20 eucalyptus trees at the bottom of the hill that were on consent calendar, then it seems like this project would be way more visible without the trees.
Yeah, there's clearly two groups, and the smaller ones are being removed. And
Oh, can you talk into the mic as well?
Oh, and higher up the slope is a much denser, larger group of trees.
Can you go to the site plan and show that?
Sure.
Or, yeah, and or the overall site plan?
The site plan.
Yeah, site plan.
Okay, so at the very, very, very bottom of the drawing, where the trees were actually falling on neighboring structures, and this area where the cursor is now, that area is where the huge group of trees are.
The site plan on the consent calendar shows the trees much more clearly.
Yeah, they do.
And so what are you circling in the blue? What are you saying about those trees? Are those the ones being removed? Those are staying, so you're saying there's a group that's closer that's staying, and there's a group that's lower down that is being, where the smaller circles are, that is being removed, and that's the consent thing. Is that correct? Okay. Did that answer that question, Commissioner Rivera?
Answers my question, but it doesn't answer the question about the impact of visibility from the neighbors, because there's houses along the bottom of that, on the other side of those trees.
Well, that work is scheduled to be done, and we're here, it's a dinner.
Yeah, this is a one-time application, so it does seem like, and this is getting into comments, but it does seem like as long as we keep that note on there, that's going to be something that will be a lot easier clearly to discuss as as the project comes back to us for an actual review, for a full review and submission.
So with the photo we have now, so that's super zoomed in, that's the house. And this area here is where the observatory is. We will develop, once the tree's removed, we will develop, maybe do a better mock-up of the structure. And again, drive around and take additional photos of it. And again, we could put trees.
And as an additional question for that, is this photo from a public road, or is this from a neighbor, or where is this from? Is this from a public road? Yeah, okay, great. And is this the most public, because I think that's going to be adding to it, not just the question of neighbors, but our main purview is for the public right-of-way. And so is this the best shot that you will have from the public right-of-way, or are there other areas, the public right-of-way, that you'll also potentially see it?
There's only from much farther away down at near the volleyball courts.
Gotcha, okay. Okay, any other, Commissioner Rivera, any other questions? Vice Chair Uli?
I wanted to circle back to a question that Commissioner Butler had that I don't think got wrapped in, and that's the lighting. I think the lighting question was, is the tennis court going to be illuminated?
No.
All right.
There we go. And then actually back to Commissioner Rivera's question.
Isn't it illegal to light tennis courts?
Yeah. No, but I think the height
There's
of
just
it,
dark sky ordinances,
but as long as it complies downward
shield them.
Okay,
and shielded and whatever. Now it is.
Maybe we're going to propose
No
it
playing
now.
tennis, no playing tennis at night.
But there might be other things that are part of that. So back to Commissioner Rivera's, he had a question about the restrooms, and you had mentioned something, is it in the drawings or not for a proposed restroom at the observatory?
Yes.
Okay, so is that the answer? Because you
Yes,
never did answer.
At the lower level.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how the tennis court gets served for restrooms. Okay, great. All right.
Can you point to them where they are?
Yes, on the floor plan of the lower level.
of the observatory.
Let's see, yeah.
Of the observatory. So if you're playing tennis, then you're going to come up the hill and go to the observatory and then go back.
Yes, and you could grab water, there'll be a,
No, currently, we're not seeing it, unless I have really bad eyesight.
there's
Okay.
a floor plan that the engineers are, it's
Yeah.
a high, super technical, a lot of equipment's going in there.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Other questions? From the commission? All right. Okay, let's roll into comments. Who wants to kick us off?
I have a
Commissioner
couple,
Lenvik?
I have a couple of comments that'll kind of set.
Oh,
the-
actually, can I throw in one question first? I just remembered I had forgotten it. Can you go to the renderings, or, actually, do you have not the sections, but the exterior elevations? Okay, yeah. So I guess, my question is with the two shapes coming together of the dome and the main body of the rectangular shape, main body, the lower level. What was your strategy for your design strategy? I see you have sort of this super simplified entablature of some sort, but it's just abstracted to just a band. And you've got sort of the abstracted pilasters to just being vertical pier kind of moves. Is that, what is your strategy for that? Because with the thought of like, yeah, these are two different shapes coming together and trying to resolve, and what we're, yeah.
Yeah, so on the lower right, you can see the wall behind that holds up the auto court, the large auto court, and there is a pilaster treatment there. And for the observatory, it's not its final shape. We've been playing with the ups and downs with finished floor elevations with this. Once we knew where the telescope was located, then we wanted to meet the ground at the appropriate level and still meet the 10-foot ceilings that we need. But there'll be further refinements in the architecture and to more implement the existing Solana architecture.
Okay. Great, that answers my question. Okay, so now let's roll in Commissioner Lenvik.
Yes, thank you. I think that we need to see the existing building, house, to understand its important design features. And if I recall, the house has a cornice. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. It has a cornice at the top of the wall, and it's got a band line there as well, which it's very simple, the architecture, but you have not brought those key design features into your design of the observatory building. And I think that it would be a great benefit if they, in fact, were brought into the design. The proportion of the openings, as you see here, there are narrow and tall in relationship to maybe the openings you have on your building. But I think it's necessary to have some kind of cornice, some kind of stopping point for your walls that the observatory dome can sit on. And I don't see it now. The other problem I have with what we see is I don't think the fence around the tennis court is appropriate. If we go and look at the rendering of it, we've got all of these white columns, white posts that are kind of holding the tennis court up, and it's really a visual obstruction. I think if you walk around tennis courts in our community, you don't see that kind of structure supporting the fence. And I think a simple, black fence or whatever that is more typical for tennis courts would be appropriate here. And I could not support this kind of fencing for the tennis courts. I'm hoping that you will also introduce into this shade structure some of the proportions that are on the main house. I think the columns on the main house are slender and not bold. And I hope that the proportions and the capital that we see on these columns are very much mimic those on the main house. So those are my comments.
Okay. And that brings up a question of what is the current fence, in my mind, of what is the current fence material being proposed, the design? What are we looking at in the rendering?
There were several requests to get the post, the darker wood color to match the arbors at the house, and it couldn't be done after 3 attempts. But what we did, I would imagine 6 by 6. If we didn't go the black chain, it would just be a 6 by 6 wood post stained.
I think I would still not buy 6 by 6 wood posts. I've seen a lot of tennis courts in this community, and I don't see any of them that have got wood posts set 6 foot on center with chain link between. You should find a solution that is typical of tennis courts that diminish its visual impact on the neighborhood.
So I guess my main question was just to understand what it was that we were looking at, because I think the colorization, I was reading it as plaster or something, but the size, I wasn't understanding it.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. Other comments? Who else wants to?
Mr. Chair, I have a comment.
Yes.
A couple of comments. First of all, in terms of the visibility from below, it's quite common when you drive around Santa Barbara to see hillside homes or to see portions of them. And I don't think that invisibility is required. So I'm not bothered if I see a piece of something through the trees. It's common around here. The other comment, I think 5 years ago, I was on the HLC when we got a chance to tour the site originally. And it was 1913 when it was built, so it was kind of before the earthquake, before the Spanish colonial revival. And my memories of it had a very strong Italianate classical feel to it, rather than a Spanish Mediterranean feel. And I would like to see, echoing some of what Commissioner Lenvig said, like to see that Italianate classical quality continued in the way the observatory is detailed, so that it's a good neighbor to the house. It doesn't have to be an elaborate design. It's a secondary building, not the primary building. But what I don't want to see is a Spanish colonial with red tile and colorful tiles.
All right.
So those are my comments.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Commissioner Jordan. All right, who wants to go next? Commissioner Rivera?
I fully support this project. Conceptually, I think the layout is fine. The meandering down the hillside is quite nice. You have a long way to get down to the tennis court. It seems like it's pushed down a little bit farther than it needs to be, but if that's where you want it, that's fine. I feel like the architecture hasn't really been developed to the standards of the main house. The main house is a very important, prominent historical part of this community and I feel like there should be a little bit of a homage to what you're doing. You know, the observatory architecture hasn't really been developed, as Commissioner Lenvig has alluded to, and also this little terrace down by the tennis court. I think, you know, some of the columns, spacing maybe too, I don't know if you need 4, maybe just 2, or just a simplification of like the main house. You know, if people are going to be there watching a game, why do you want to have 4 columns? You can just have 2 columns looking down the terrace. But the type of column, the design of the columns, even the balusters, maybe you can bring some of the balusters that were from the original house, things like that are an example of what I'm talking about.
Okay. Vice Chair Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I like the project. Reginald Johnson designed a telescope for Mr. Hale in Pasadena. And I think it's 160 feet tall, but in the ground. The building is only 1.5 stories tall. The telescope's in the ground.
Oh, my God.
It's still there. So telescopes are really cool. And I guess it's a nice thing that you don't have to dig a 150-foot deep hole to make a telescope
Maybe you could do
work.
it through your
You know,
caisson.
Yeah, it's much more compact, but I think telescopes are really cool. And I'm going to veer from my fellow commissioners in that the work that you're doing on the main house, that you've done on the main house, is much more important to be compatible with the main house. The observatory, I think, should be a little more whimsical. It shouldn't match the main house. It is its own little building, and it should be a little whimsy. You can't see it from the main house, other than maybe the top of the dome. You pull up in the driveway and you wonder, what's that? But I think that building should be a little more playful. With respect to the tennis court, I agree with Commissioner Lindvik in the sense that it just seems too heavy. And a lighter, more transparent boundary so that you don't lose your tennis ball is probably more important than the heaviness of the fence. And the observer platform, probably in my sense, also is too heavy. It just seems overly heavy, and you might want to think about lightening it up.
All right. Commissioner Butler, do you want to go?
Just real quick. First of all, thank you for coming at this earliest stage in the development of the application process. So I just want to recognize that you came in at a very early stage of development. That helps us. I hope that helps you. So thank you for that. And I would just support some of the comments about the design, tying it a little, I would say, closer to the house. And the lighting is a concern at night, obviously, because having lived in that neighborhood for several years with tennis courts, and I know you're not lighting the tennis court, but tennis courts lit at night or other structures lit at night can generate some neighborly concern. Let's put it that way. Trees get chopped down in the middle of the night when stuff happens. Anyway, so the lighting would be a concern just to be aware of.
Okay. Commissioner Ensberg or
I think
Commissioner McClure?
McClure.
No, I think it's a great project, very interesting, and part of the comments of these architects, I agree, but overall, very nice.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Ensberg?
Thank you, and thank you so much for bringing this to us. It's very exciting, and yeah, telescopes are cool, so thank you so much for bringing it to us. I just have a couple of comments. One is I would like to see in the next time you come where the other houses are. Give us a sort of a bigger map so we can see where everybody is. And other than that, I think this is a terrific project, and I agree basically with all the other commissioners. I would just add, I think that the observatory itself, I like sort of the simplicity of it. There's something about that because it's a very, it's a technical thing. So I like that kind of how the direction you're going, although I could see what Commissioner Uli is saying as well. If you wanted to add a little bit of something to it, then I wouldn't object to that either. But I do kind of like just the sort of kind of frills about it. It's like a serious thing, it doesn't have, they don't have things on them that aren't there for a reason when you have a telescope.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of approach of scientific kind of things.
An unadorned telescope.
Yeah, I like that. So, and then I agree about, I think the tennis court just needs to feel like it was always there. It needs to refer back like it was a tennis court that was part of the estate originally. So I agree with the other comments that you'll study those things, and maybe it has the concrete balusters, like above, could make it feel more old world. And then the fence, I agree, around the perimeter fence just feels a little bit too much like a containment thing instead of just disappearing. So looking at what we typically see on a typical tennis court and what might be, maybe go up to Hearst Castle or something. But great project, and I look forward to the next time we get to see it. And thank you for, again, as Commissioner Butler said, for coming in early.
Oh, one more thing.
Right, yeah.
Did you look at the Griffith Observatory?
Yes, we
That's
did. It
really
was, yeah,
awesome.
it went into our
Beautiful
thinking.
building.
You can add a couple more domes. Okay, that covers everyone. Okay, so my comments on it, I agree with my fellow commissioners. I guess the only additional nuance piece, I guess, well, there's two things. One is there will be needing a zoning modification for just the square footage. Is that what it is? Because
That's
it's
correct.
it's already maxed out for officially.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
remember all the stats.
So, and I just want to confirm with the commissioners that it doesn't seem like anyone is having problems with it being an additional. Okay, yeah, so it seems like we're supportive of that. Okay, zoning modification. Okay, and then I guess the only other nuance I would add is to the discussion of the architectural detailing and refinements. And I think that there's two general directions that have been brought up as ideas, with the majority leaning towards the house. I think that it could go, you could actually do either one. You could treat it as a folly, or one or both as follies in the landscape, and that's very Italian and Mediterranean and very Riviera, right? So it's this American Riviera, so combination of Italian garden and landscape and sequencing through those gardens. So I think that makes total sense, and you could treat it that way, or you could treat it as a associated structure of the main house and sort of play off of some of those. So I think there's possibility for going either way with it, and obviously there are a number of comments about if you are going to tie to the house, whether that's in the cornices or proportions or all those various things, to look at that, and not necessarily needing to just copy the exact details of the house, but playing off of them. And I think showing us your study and process as part of those next steps would be very good and helpful, showing us what are the proportions of the current house, what are the details of the Capitol, those things, and then how are you playing off of that, or changing, or not. That'll be, I think, helpful for some of those detailed discussions. But I guess the other thing is, if you got us talking details, you're in a good spot at a one-time pre-application. So, but I'll try to capture those in the note summaries. But let me give a shot at summarizing everyone's comments, all of our comments, and with the direction, and then we can go from there. Okay, so the first comment is that we're very supportive of the project. It's very exciting, and it's a great way of incorporating also a public benefit within the project. We are supportive of the zoning modification that is needed for this project. The additional pieces that we'll want to see as it goes forward are the surrounding properties and house locations of all the properties around, and also the views from the public roads, and that will probably be a map with keyed or whatever, where you are in the zoomed out version and where your shots are from, so that visually we can see how it is affected, how it is viewed on the hill, with the understanding that it's not necessary to be totally invisible, but that this is also, but it does need to be incorporated well into the hillside, and especially from the public views. The tennis court, to study the fence, and I think that fairly universally the current design is too robust. I think that, and try to minimize it in some way as you're going forward. And I think we can kind of leave it in general there, let them try to do a design that minimizes it and not as strong and robust and light. And I think, yeah, we'll see what comes back. The other comments in the tennis court were additional, we'll say refinements of the pavilion. You heard some various ideas and ways, but just to refine the pavilion with some, we'll say with some comments of referencing the house. And I didn't want to get into the number of columns or that division as well, because I could see it going different ways. I can even see doing a center occupied column, so that you have, you're on that side and I'm on this side, and we're I'm going for them and you're going for them. But whatever the case, as you study it, developing it out and refining it. And then for the observatory, to continue to refine with one idea of tying it more to the house, to La Solana, and the details and refinements of the Italian classical, and then also another possibility being being it more as a folly. And let's see, lighting. If there is lighting that's going to be proposed for it, that's obviously going to be very important to understand what its ramifications are, and also from the public right-of-way and neighbors, how that may infiltrate other spaces. And then I think that's all my notes. Am I missing anything? Everyone good? Okay, that's, I think, good. So are we looking, this is a one-time pre-application, so those are just the notes summarized. We don't need a motion?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
All right, great.
Comments only.
All right, comments only, so there you go. All right, thank you. Good luck. Yes. All right, yes. Okay, so now we are on to item 2. We are on time, on to item 2, 128 West Mitchell-Trina Street. This is listed on the local register of historic places. Only the sandstone retaining wall constructed 1870 to 1940 along West Mitchell-Trina Street qualifies as an important historic resource. Proposal to demolish the non-historic buildings on-site and construct a new 1,800 square foot, 2-story, single-unit residence with a roof tower and roof deck. Project includes a new 250 square foot garage, trash enclosure, hardscape, landscape, trellis, wood fence, and minor alterations to the sandstone wall. A minor zoning exception is requested to allow the fence trellis to exceed 8 feet in the interior setback. The project qualifies for an exemption from further environmental review and of CEQA. And the project design approval is requested, project compatibility findings, minor zoning exception findings, and mechanical equipment waiver findings are required. The project was last reviewed April 8th, 2026. All right, so welcome.
Chair, if I may add, for the medical equipment waiver for this project is not going to be required.
Okay, great.
Mr. Chair, I'm involved with this, so I'm going to go outside.
Okay. Thank you.
And if I may, Charles McClure, if you can just please read the statement.
Right. The State Political Practices Act regulation states that an official may appear before the Designer Architectural Board Review Committee, of which he or she is a member, to be present, explain architectural and engineering drawings which the official has prepared for a client. Charles McClure is a sole practitioner and is using his exception, understanding certain limits regarding advocating on behalf of their client. But I don't have.
But you don't have anything to present, so that's why you're going to go. Okay, great. Thank you.
Bunch of nonsense.
Let's talk about him while he's gone.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect. Okay, so with that, is there any other staff comments before we go on? And we will read the minutes from April 8th. And then also, if anyone who was not there, if they've watched the recording, let us know, and you can participate in both questions and comments and vote. And then if you have not watched the recording, you can do questions, but no comments or votes. All right, so with that, let's do the minutes from April 8th.
And to the applicant team, the minutes are on your laptop, so it'd be the second tab on the top. So I think you might need to exit full screen view. And then just scroll down until you see your item. So keep going right there. And you can scroll down a little bit more. Until the continued.
Okay, there we
go. You go.
All right, so all right, so the motion was to continue indefinitely with the following comments. 1, the commission thanks the applicant for their hard work. The design they are bringing forward and improvement of the neighborhood. 2, the commission is thankful for the applicant's care for the historic stone wall and for keeping as much as possible by integrating into the improvements. 3, the mass, bulk, scale, and general design of the project is compatible and is going in the right direction. 4, the tower element should be less dominant and integrated more into the rectangular massing of the design. Return with imagery looking at other angles as well. 5, incorporate more color, especially towards the front, through inclusion of tiles, awnings, or other elements that bring more life to the structure. 6, the landscape plan is generally supportable as currently proposed. 7, the windows should be less in type, number, shape, and non-horizontal. Consider separating the square windows with plaster in between so they are not horizontal in proportion and/or muntins as part of the divisions. 8, continue to refine the roof deck, especially with the privacy of the neighbor in mind. Study in 3 dimensions and return to HLC with those studies. 9, the height of the fence and vine solution is supportable for the minor zoning exception. 10, the open yard modification is also supportable given the specifics of this lot and design. 11, the garage design is going in the right direction. 12, Spanish revival as a general style is acceptable for this design. Motion was by Butler, the second was by Lodge. 5-0-0, Uli, Lenvik, and McClure were absent, motion carried. So, and then, so.
The answer is yes.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Lenvik, did you watch the recording?
I did not, no.
Okay, so questions, but no comments or voting, and then Commissioner Rivera?
I did, but I don't have any questions.
Okay, well, if you watch the recording, great, you can both ask questions and fully participate, yes. Okay, great. And Commissioner Lenvik can ask questions, and they have to be real questions. No comment questions this time. Okay, so with that, if you would walk us through, show us how you addressed our concerns from last time, and then also any other changes that happened and developed.
Yeah, my name is Alex Pusho. I'm the architect for the project, and this is J.L. Kaminsky, the owner of the property.
Okay, great.
First, I'd like to clarify something. We do not need an open yard modification any longer. It's been resolved, correct? Yeah.
Yes, I can touch on that. So in accordance to state law, when it comes to ADUs, the city of Santa Barbara cannot apply their open yard exception rule, being that the ADU is less than 800 square feet. And so that is no longer applicable for this project.
Okay.
Great.
So no open yard modification question. Okay.
Very
Great,
good.
thank you.
So we enlarged the set. You probably noticed if you look that we have another 5 pages added. We addressed all of your comments, and even though the changes are relatively minor, very important on the windows, the sills, especially the roofs, the roof eaves and overhangs, the parapet, and I will show you.
Yeah,
This
walk us
just
through.
go to the next one. Yes, this page, this is the neighborhood. You've seen it before, but this will go quickly. That's the housing in Mitchell, the 128 West Mitchell Terena. And if you go to the side right there, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the neighborhood. Shrink it a little bit. Yeah, perfect. And then go to the houses. Yeah, yeah. There we go. That's the Denica house in the corner. A couple of cottages next door. Keep down. Then a triplex and the subject property number 2 on the left. And the drawing shows the street with the proposed project. In yellow is the existing, and in black is the proposed for the footprint and roof. Okay, keep going down to that corner down there. Yeah, yeah. This one shows the neighborhood compatibility. In darker are the multi-story structures. You know, the Allenmar building is a 3-story, the Denica house. The triplex, the barn, 117 is the barn. There's another pretty large structure, 115. The other houses to the left are also 2 stories. And actually 1435, the corner house shown right there, number 12, it's actually a 4-story house. You know, this is a basement. So, anyway, so let's go to the next page then. So this is our study of the neighborhood, and this is how it was done. We figured out the height of if you look at the section on the right, we figured out the eye level from the ground for a person standing on the balcony, and we took and we showed in the a series of pictures. Keep slow down. I mean, reduce it. Yeah. No, start from the upper corner, from that corner right there. Yeah, and these are the corners going around. That yellow line, it would be the parapet, which we raised to 48 inches. It was 42. We raised a little bit higher. Granted, if you go right to the corner and you stick your head, yeah, you will see a lot more, but that's kind of like a natural, this is what you would see sitting down on a typical conversation. That's the one on the center, that's the property and the surrounding, the subject property and the surrounding neighbors, and keep going down a little bit. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, so that's basically what you see from the terrace. And let's go to the next one. Well, this one is just this survey. I don't think it tells you anything. Keep going. This is existing residence. I think we struggled with this the last meeting, so we move on. Okay, and let's go to the site plan right there on the right. Yeah, yeah. This is you've seen this before, but just to remind you, it's we have an ADU in the back, a main residence in the front, and on top on the second floor. The carport is replaced by a garage there. There is a shared driveway. We widened the driveway in order to accommodate vehicles. And that's about it. And then we have of course, the historic sandstone wall. And we have another page we added. Let's see. Yeah, we added this page right here that shows. Yeah, they have the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. And on the left are the details of how. The changes are very minor, but we need to widen the driveway. We can use the same stones. We probably will dismantle it and put it back together as shown in the drawing. Okay, and keep going. Next is the... No. And these are the site plan, the floor plans. No. We'll go. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. This is the first floor. That's the entrance. The tower going to the with a dumbwaiter. The tower going to the second floor, which is the main floor. The first floor has the master suite and a little office in the corner. The second floor has the main building, the common spaces and then the bedrooms. And this is the upper story on the floor. This is where you start seeing the difference in the roof, especially in the eaves. The one on the left, it's not very visible now, but you could see how we used to have very tight eaves, and now we have 18 inches all around, an extension over some windows, and it becomes noticeable in the elevations. Yeah, keep going. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one, I added this because, not that you need to see the reflected ceiling, but this shows the underside of the eaves. We removed the roof over the front porch. The front porch is in the front on the right, and we put an open trellis right there. Yeah, and the other ones are and the top is the reflected ceiling of the rooftop cover. Those are the sections. The sections, well, haven't changed much except for the roofs and the parapet. And these are the elevations, and we simplify the windows. They are more on they are similar in size, most of them. And what can I say? We also changed a little bit the details of the sill. So you'll see when you go into the details that the tile on the sill is more visible. And let's see some more. What do we have? Yeah, here are the. That would be they're pointing to the fence that we need that's an exception. So we have something like similar to that. This tile would be in the front. Let's go to the details. Yeah, the number one is I think is the main eave detail. It's just the plaster with wood. Basically, good wood trim, protrusions. And the sill kind of shows a little extension. Go up just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, that's the extension of the sill. very small details, but they add up and they make a difference. Next page. Yes, so now we have three elevations, three renderings, the front, one side, and the other side, and showing how, indeed, the tower is more integrated, the windows are more in keeping with each other, and the overhang of the front windows help as well. And let's see, we have the landscape has not changed. I don't think it has changed much. We do have these flower boxes with a backing to use on the roof because it does provide another level of shielding from the neighbors, because basically we're interested in seeing the mountains beyond, not the neighbors below. And that concludes the presentation, right? Yeah, that's it.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, so now let's go to public comment.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. I do have one speaker slip already, and that's for Michael Acton, pardon me. If you want to come up to the mic, Mr. Acton, and make sure your light is on and it's green, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Hello, my name is Michael Acton. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just a couple of questions. Oops.
First off, I'd like to thank Alex and his son-in-law for considering me in all of this. I own the property next door. My main concern is still the bulk and that tower. And I just want to make sure that I'm going to get sunlight into my house. In the wintertime, there's a shadow that casts, and I have discussed that. And I just want to make sure before we approve everything that is not going to block my window and my light, because it's cheek to jowl down there. It's a very, very tiny lot. So when you consider the tower, I would like you to just make sure that that's up to snuff. That wall has steps too, so you're modifying steps and a wall to accommodate the driveway. So just I don't see that as a slight modification. I see that actually more as a major change of the wall structure. And the last thing, I wasn't here for the April 8th. I was not able to make it down here. But I've been sort of just mulling over all of this, and you've got an ADU, you're tearing it down, and a tower, and a push out of the house from where it exists now forward. And all of that moves the bulk of the building this way. So, and that's where my house is. So I just want to make sure that when you look at everything, take all of that into consideration, because I'm not against any of it. I just want to make sure that it's done correctly, because if it started on its way, then I can't say, oh, well, too late now. Just consider it is cheek to jowl down there, and I've got condos on that side that are all straight looking down, and now I'm going to have another straight wall. I did like the tower line. That was really helpful. That was a comment I had before. I didn't like the patio thing up top. But now that I see that it's not going to be hitting me, I still have an issue with the bulk of that wall and the punched out and the ADU. So
Okay.
I would like you to keep all of that in mind, because it's a lot for that property. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. I don't have any more speaker slips, and we currently do not have any virtual participants, and we received no written correspondence, so I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
All right, to the commission for questions. Commissioner Ensberg.
Yes. Maybe to the gentleman who just spoke, could you take us through the solar of what's going on there, please?
On the topic of the solar ordinance? Or?
Yeah.
Just show us how it's working and that it is meeting the requirement and won't impact the gentleman to your neighbor. Maybe you could just talk to that so that we can all understand and certainly.
Right. That's the diagram. The diagonal shows the solar ordinance. Yeah. the envelope, yeah.
Property line 30
Yeah.
degrees, and it's within the solar ordinance line.
Yeah, that property raises to the back. It's lower at the street, is higher in the back of the lot.
Vice Chair
Yeah.
Uli?
Just to follow up on Commissioner Ensberg's question, your strike line for the 18 feet, is that grade at the building?
At the ground of the building, at the ground.
At the building?
No, starting from
versus
the
ground
dirt,
at the street.
where the face.
Property line.
Not
No,
at
no,
the
no,
sidewalk.
where the building wall hits the ground. That's it, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Also,
Commissioner Ensberg?
yes, could you also, let's look at you had the floor plan that showed the original building and then the new building, and then the staff explained to us that the open yard does not apply to this particular project. Maybe you could talk about the difference between the old, and maybe flip back to, the original house, and just maybe talk about that a little bit, of the amount that as we see the yellow line, you are pulling away from where it is on the west side. So,
Yeah.
so it just go through that, because it's sort of moving around in ways, it's not fully covering what was there before, it's moving. So your overall footprint,
Yeah, it's similar. Well, you can see a difference right there. It does extend it towards the front, but if I don't see that as impinging on I mean, it's more of a public space, the front of the street,
than before. And this is what the gentleman was asking, to be sure that, this was, you're asking for.
Just sort of to add to that question.
Yeah.
So the front yard setback is what? And,
It's 10 feet.
okay, and so it's conforming to the front yard
Yeah, of
setback?
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Just want to make sure it's confirmed, so, because there's the building on the left, which is facing the other street, but it's actually pushed even more to the sidewalk. So, okay, so you're pushing to the sidewalk, but not to pass the front yard setback, which is normal. And then I think Commissioner Ensberg, you were pointing out that, the back portion, the ADU stays in the footprint where the current is, and the actual main dwelling actually steps a little bit away from the neighbor by a couple feet, looks like, maybe 2 feet or whatever that is. And I think and it's moving around, but it actually is pulling a touch away. It's obviously going taller, but at least as the footprint goes, it's actually slightly away from the neighbor and a chunk towards the front, but still within the front yard setback. And that's, I'm assuming, where you were going with that comment.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Or with that
I
question.
wanted to just have a further discussion about it so that we could understand it, and so that the gentleman who was asking that we be very clear about it before we approve.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great.
Thank
Do
you.
you have other questions? Any other questions?
Those are my questions.
Okay.
I have a question.
Commissioner Lenvik.
Yeah, the garage is masonry construction,
It's going to be, yes. Uh-huh.
and you do intend to plaster the north and the west elevation that are exposed?
Yes, as much as possible, and then we need the neighbors' approval, but we totally will. And at least that's the intent.
All right. Other questions?
Could I have one,
Commissioner Ansboury?
may I have one
Yeah.
other question? Now, the existing house has a hedge in a similar location to what you're showing, except the hedge goes up to what, I don't know, 12 feet or something? It goes up pretty high, right? The existing.
I'm not sure the existing height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just basically, the house is behind there and you can't really see it very much. And now in your new renderings, you're showing it at a more, a lower height
Yes.
for now until.
We promised the hedge not to grow.
Yeah, okay. So that's kind of a difference in the whole overall look, that if you were walking along the sidewalk, that you would, experience it in a different way. And then also, if you could talk about the stone wall and the stairs.
Oh, yeah, the stairs stay like the drawing shows. What goes is a piece of on the left, part of that. The drawing shows it pretty well, I think. The drawing, Right there, there you go. Yeah, that's what happens. No, the steps don't need to be touched.
Yeah, so right now to get into the driveway, I have to drive around the block to be on the further side of the road just so I can line it up properly. So this part of the stone wall will have to be dismantled. This part will remain as is. In fact, we'll actually have to like rebuild it by using the same sandstone material. But the
Pardon my
steps
interruption, but to the applicant, do you mind moving the mic over and talking into it? No, you're fine. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so the steps itself don't actually get changed. We're just going to rebuild this wall using the same sandstone bricks from this area. But we need to remove this part in order to widen the driveway.
So that return piece will go away.
This part right
But
here, yes.
but you'll use all those materials over again to create the as you're proposing it.
Exactly,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, other questions?
One more thing I want to mention. There is going to be a minor exception in regards to the fence. There we go, right there. So I believe that's going to be proposed at 12 feet on the adjacent eastern side of the property. I'm going to wait for him. There we go.
Yeah, that's the fence and the, I mean, we can live without it, but I think it would be better for both neighbors just to have some privacy, you know?
Okay, and that's for minor zoning exception to allow it to stay. Is that what it is?
Not to exceed, no.
Oh, to exceed the height.
But it already exists. Or
Well,
no,
that-
this
that's
is a
gonna-
new.
it's
Okay,
gonna be
new
re-
that
well,
exceeds
yeah,
the height.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Fence there, but we're gonna
We want to take it apart, rebuild it, and make it a taller thing. Okay, great. And that's, so we need to do project compatibility findings, minor zoning exception findings, and that's what that is? Okay. Anything else on the minor zoning exception? It's just the fence. Okay, great. Good to know. All right, any other questions by the commission? All right, and I don't think I really had any questions, actually. Well, I guess, actually, I do have one with this. So the trellis, just to confirm, the trellis that we see in the reflected ceiling plan, is it the same trellis that you're showing here with the wrought iron? And then what are the cross members?
Okay, go to.
Because I thought on the reflected ceiling plan, it looks kind of bigger, and what I was
Yeah,
seeing
that's
something
it.
else?
That's the one. That's it, detail
With
4.
wrought
right there.
iron.
Yes,
Okay,
sure.
and then can you go to the reflected ceiling plan? Maybe I was just looking at
Keep
the
going.
roof above that was just,
Well, you see.
oh,
yeah,
no,
this-
okay, I see, it is thin. Okay, it's wrought iron, got it.
yeah.
Okay, perfect, okay, that was the one part. Okay, all right, okay, so there are no more questions for me, so now let's go into comments. Who wants to start us off? Anyone? Any takers?
I will, I'll
Okay, go for it, Commissioner Ansberg. Oh, and I should say, this is project design approval is being requested, and we would have to make project compatibility findings, minor zoning exception findings, and minor zoning exception findings. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this in, and it's a very exciting project, and I fully support it, and I think you've done a beautiful job of, this whole, it's a very unique expression, and I always try to support that. And so I think you've done a spectacular job, and I think it's very unique and fun, and I think you have hit everything. My only one piece is those planter boxes up on the roof with the, I feel like that would just sort of clutter up the area and make it less easy to use, and I think you have the perimeter that you need, so I don't feel like you need those, but if you feel really strongly about it, they're not really visible from our perspective, so. But I think it's just a home run, and I think you've done a great job, and I'm very excited to see it move forward.
All right. Commissioner Rivera?
I think it's a nice project, and I fully support it the way it is presented. Thank you.
Yeah, Commissioner Jordan?
Two quick comments. I'm supportive of the project. I have a comment. You showed a plan early on of the neighborhood, and I just want to commend you for that. Too often, we get a plan that just shows the house and nothing else, and it's really very helpful to have that larger site context. So that's one comment. The other comment is, I heard the public comment from the neighbor. I assume that this must meet all the applicable zoning and building codes, including solar. And if it does, then I can't stop it on that basis. And I think it's an example of how neighborhoods in Santa Barbara will get denser in the years ahead. But that's, as long as it meets the zoning and all the building codes, that's the direction the city is going.
All right. Other Commissioner, Vice Chair Willie, do you want to? Oh, wait, you did.
Yeah, I don't have any comments.
Okay. And Commissioner Butler?
Just to follow up on Commissioner Jordan's comment is, yeah, I understand the concern of the density and the new issues that as we expand housing, especially in the downtown area, how much that's a challenge. But I think this is, is this an architectural term? It's a handsome building?
Yeah, I think you can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I'm not the architect, so. But I think it will be a good addition to the neighborhood.
Yeah, great. All right, and then my comments as I echo my fellow commissioners, I think it's supportable, and I think that the project compatibility findings and the minor zoning exception findings are supportable. So I think with that, I'll look for a motion by a commissioner who wants to make the findings.
I'll make a motion for project design approval as submitted with the following findings. That the HLC finds that the project is consistent with our design guidelines, that it is compatible, its architectural character and city and neighbor are compatible with the neighborhood, that the size, mass, bulk, height, and scale are appropriate, that it is sensitive to landmarks and resources around it, that public views of ocean and mountains are not impacted, and there is an appropriate use of open space and landscaping.
I'll second that.
And for the minor zoning exemptions, the following findings, the granting of such exceptions will not be detrimental to the use and enjoyment of other properties in the neighborhood. The improvements are cited such that they minimize the impact next to abutting properties. The project generally complies with applicable privacy, landscaping, noise, lighting, and single-family design board good neighbor guidelines, and the improvements will be compatible with the existing development and character of the neighborhood.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I guess under discussion, I forgot to summarize a couple of the comments too. So let me put these
that
up.
might change the whole thing now.
Exactly. All right, so for our first comment would be that we're fully supportive of the project, and we thank the applicant for their hard work to fit it within a tricky site and a beautiful design. The note on the planter boxes, I kind of had probably a similar feeling, as in they're not so much, they're more furnishing and whatever if you want to do them. But I guess design-wise, if they do them, I would want to add the note that, because right now the spec that they have is very horizontal. It's a little more modern in terms of its horizontality. And I would say just at least break it up with some verticals to have it be a little bit more grid-like or whatever if you're doing a trellis, but just less contemporary in terms of a product if you're going to go that direction. But I would also agree with Commissioner Ensberg that it's not necessary, and it's the type of thing that's more like planter boxes and furniture as opposed to, a necessary permanent thing. I don't know if the other commissioners feel the same. Agreed. In general? Okay. So then I guess the note would be that the planter boxes are not necessary, but if they are, as part of the project, that they would have more traditional divisions of grid division as opposed to a horizontal division.
And to be specific, that's to the trellis that's attached to the
Yes,
planter
sorry,
box,
yes, I
not the
should
box
say
itself.
The planter box should be for more traditional geometry. And then also a note that we appreciate the thorough neighborhood study and for compatibility and for all the views and making sure that this project is minimally impactful in terms of the neighbors looking and their privacy. Okay, so with those notes, is the
I'm okay with it.
maker of the motion, the seconder?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so with that, any other further discussion? All right, will let's have a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Dorden,
Yes.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Lundvik,
Abstain?
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And Chair
All right.
Grumbine, if you could
Oh, and this
please
is
announce.
appealable to city council within 10 calendar days.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
so the
Thank you.
last item is, let's see, do we have the applicant here? No, or for the
we
last
early?
item? Yeah, we're still a little early, but I think we're 10 minutes, so we technically can start if they're here.
Boy, that's efficient.
Mm-hmm,
That's
yes,
odd.
we're doing,
We're running
I know.
faster than-
I know,
Nice project.
all right.
What's that? Well, this is a great.
Okay, all right. All right, well, welcome, come on up. We're running a little early, so, but we're within 10 minutes, so we can start. All right. Yeah, that's a rule. Okay, so if the applicant's here, so let's get started. This is item number 3, 1315 State Street. This is a continued item for concept review. So this is a contributing historic resource to the Pueblo Viejo Landmark District, constructed in 1926 in the Spanish Colonial Revival style by Edwards and Plunkett and drastically altered in 1948 to 1955. The project is located directly adjacent to the Arlington Theater, 1317 State Street, a designated city landmark. This is a revised project. The 4,000 square foot lot is developed with a 5,400 square foot two-story commercial building. The proposed project consists of converting a portion of the first floor to a studio unit and a 1,150 square foot addition to the second floor. The project includes converting the second floor into 2 residential units, 1 2-bedroom and 1 1-bedroom, and restoration of the storefront. The project has also been revised to include the creating of 2 roof decks and an elevator tower. The staff hearing officer granted approval of an open yard modification to provide less than the required amount of private open yard area. The property is located within the Assembly Bill 2097 radius, therefore no parking is required. Project was last reviewed by the Historic Landmarks Commission on November 19th, 2025. So no final appealable action will take place at this meeting. Project compatibility findings, major alteration findings, and development plan findings will be required for project design approval. Project was last reviewed November 19th, 2025. And there was a historic significance report. All right, so with all that, we'll go to staff for any comments, and then we'll go to the minutes from November 19th, 2025. And if there are any commissioners that weren't there, if they have watched the recordings, then they can fully participate. Otherwise, it's questions only. All right, so with that, to staff, is there any notes?
Yes, thank you, Chair Grumbine and Commissioners. So this project has an assigned case planner who's not able to be here today, but I can provide a little bit of background. So this project previously went for HLC concept review and received positive comments. Since then, they revised the proposal a little bit. And as you mentioned, they're proposing 2 roof decks and an elevator tower. So because of this revision, they are coming back for a revised concept review. So today we're just looking for comments, and if the commission feels appropriate, they'd be returning to the HLC for project design approval. Thank you.
Gotcha, thank you. All right, so let's see, why don't we go to the minutes from last time? In the meantime, you guys can maybe introduce yourselves.
I'm Joe Androlitis with Androlitis Mixon Architects, and to my right is Jen. She's the property owner, and then Lauren is the interior designer.
All right.
Continue.
Yeah, maybe click on the November.
Oh, yeah, it's the second tab
minutes.
at the top.
Yeah. Where's the screen?
And you might need to refresh the page. Here, I'll come over.
Looks like the minutes are in the middle.
Perfect. All right. So the motion was to continue to the staff hearing officer with the following comments. 1, the commission supports the open yard modification. 2, the commission feels the project compatibility findings could be made for the property and it is ready for project design approval. I know the motion vote was by Uli, the second vote was by Drury, 8-0-0. McClure was absent, the motion carried. All right, so then to Commissioner McClure, have you had a chance to read?
Did not.
Okay, and then, yeah, Commissioner Rivera, okay,
Yes.
great. So Commissioner McClure, for questions, all good. Okay, so with that, why don't you take us through what you've done different, or not different, but changes, and because those are pretty straightforward comments, so.
Yes, and I'll expand those comments because I recall that meeting, and it was probably the most positive HLC hearing I've ever had.
We
So
were
I
in a
just wanted
good
to
mood
remind
that
you
day.
of all that, but anyhow. So we are here, we were ready to move forward with the previous design, but Jen was having second thoughts about managing 5, 6 apartments and wanted to simplify the project. So what you have before you today is a little different what we previously proposed, and we've scaled back the number of units on the second floor from 5 to 2. And then we expanded some amenities, being the roof deck on the top, so they have some outdoor open space that they previously didn't have on the previous design, and we were keeping the studio unit in the back on the first floor. So. Just get you up to speed on the project site. It's just south of the Arlington Theater. It's a 1-story building in the front with a 2-story towards the back that had a combination of offices and later residential units. It used to be a bridal shop back in the day. Some more detailing on the east side or the north side. Site plan is pretty much the same. Given that we've gone from 5 units to 2 units, we only need 1 stair going to the second floor now, but previously we had 2. So the State Street entrance will have the stair, and then the alley entrance will be access to the elevator circulation. So here you can see a recessed area for the stair enclosure with a wrought iron security gate at the sidewalk. And then at the back, we have another security gate at the back, and then a recessed entrance to a little outdoor vestibule and an indoor vestibule for the elevator lobby.
And just as you're going through, can you let us know if there's anything that's different architecturally than for what we saw before?
Well,
'Cause I don't remember it.
yeah, the stairs changed and there wasn't an elevator before. So this unit, the configuration changed slightly, but it's basically a little studio unit.
Yeah,
in
and
the
I
back.
think especially for just the exterior wall,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we're,
So we'll get to the elevations. I'll go over that.
okay, great.
Second floor, we have 1 single stair going up. We have a 1-bedroom unit towards the back and a 2-bedroom unit towards the front. Each unit has a private stair to their own roof deck. That was done for a number of reasons. One being it was simpler, not having 2 stairs having to exit from the roof deck added some complications. So having private roof decks worked better for these configurations. Here's the roof deck concept. We kept the elevator tower towards the back, so I'll show you a perspective. So we're trying to protect that sense of that 3rd story from the street, so you really don't see it. So that's why it's placed where it is. And then it's on the north side or the south side, as far away from the Arlington Theater as we can get it. We are enclosing the stairwells as well to create landings for them, protected landings for them to come up onto the roof deck without being exposed to weather. So what you see here is the roof deck plan with the floor plan of the elevator tower and then the roof plan of the elevator tower below. So here are the proposed elevations. Front elevation is relatively similar to what we had before. We didn't have 3 doors. We had a kind of outdoor balcony before, but we've simplified it with just 3 French doors and some wrought iron Juliet balconies. We did have some rafter tails in the front, but we simplified that to just having a plaster eave. In the back, we had a gable roof, and we've converted that to a hip to kind of encompass the roof deck and the required 42-inch guardrail, and trying to incorporate that whole design into that enclosure of the roof deck. There we have, I think previously we had 2 wrought iron balconies. This time we have 1 in the middle. And then we've resurrected what used to be an opening in the middle. It used to be similar to the ones on the left and right, but we decided to open up the whole archway for light and air for that unit. It's currently a concrete shear wall that was done as part of the seismic retrofit. The east elevation also shows the configuration of the wrought iron gates. This one in the middle would be a bifold gate just for security reasons, so that we don't get homeless people sleeping in the little alcove there at the entrance. So that will get swung into the little alcoves on either side on the interior of that opening. This is the south side, so you're seeing basically a big blank wall. That's the wall that's going to face the adjacent property. That will be right on the property line. You really won't see that elevation. And then what you're seeing are the partial elevations of that side where it's just offset of that little alleyway. And then up above, you see the elevator tower, which kind of pokes out a little bit to give it a little more definition. And then a simple shed roof on either side, which kind of hips around the back side of that. You'll see that on another elevation. Kind of played with the guardrail a little bit, so we have a little bit of plaster and then a little wrought iron to kind of soften the weight of that on top of the building. This is the side facing the Arlington. We have a simple hip roof going the majority of the backside, and then the gable roof on the front. We have a chimney now that will contain a fireplace in that unit that pokes out. And then this arched window is part of the previous design that was enclosed as part of one of the remodels done when the bridal shop was functioning. So we're opening that up and increasing the height by bringing down the sill. These are openings into the bedrooms. We're kind of some special glass work here for the bathrooms, and then a plaster grill for this window down here. And these are the existing openings that we're just expanding further. Here's a perspective from across the street. As you can see, everything's modeled. The elevator tower beyond is modeled. As you can see, you can't really get a sense of it from the street level. Here's some sections. The plate height from the first to the second will remain as is, and then we have a 10-foot ceiling on the second floor with the roof deck, and we're assuming about 2 feet of structure that will be massaged as we get into structural drawings. We got a section through the stairwell, and then a section through the elevator tower. We got some standard details. These are some of the finishes that we're proposing, and I'll let Lauren chime in on some of the fixtures and finishes that we're proposing for the exterior of the building.
Hi. So when we were looking at the building and all the finishes we want to do on the exterior, we took a lot of inspiration from the town itself. And we walked around, we took tons of photos of all the architecture down State Street, retail and otherwise. And we're really trying to pull from that. So keeping the plaster on the exterior, adding a travertine and a limestone below the windowsills, like a lot of the architecture in Santa Barbara has. For retail, they usually have, I see a lot of cast concrete, limestone, ceramic tile. And then we also wanted to play with leaded glass because we saw a lot of leaded glass around town as well. So some of the windows that we added were, leaded glass windows. as well as the plaster grill that he mentioned the inspiration was taken from the Arlington itself, one of the plaster grills that's on the Arlington, as well as the ironwork that we chose to do. The style was also taken from the Arlington. So we really wanted to make sure that the building felt good with the architecture around it, and it didn't feel out of place. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure that we had our own, injected our own history into it, which, as you saw on a couple slides back, when we go into the front vestibule on the ground, like, again, a lot of retail stores have, we wanted to do a mosaic on the floor and pay tribute to the address itself. So we have that on the floor as you walk in. And then on the back side of the building, we wanted to bring a ceramic tile, similar to a lot of the other retail stores on State Street. So we proposed a blue ceramic tile with also the name of Jen's grandmother, which is what we wanted to call the building on the back. The ironwork as well to the alleyways. We took inspiration also from a grill on the Arlington that has these really beautiful spindly grate with a star applied to the grate itself, which you see on the front, and then we're going to do, something similar on the sides, so on the front as you walk in.
This wrought iron gate?
Yeah, that wrought iron gate has little stars on it. And yeah, does that cover it all?
Right? Okay, if that completes your
That
presentation.
concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll go to public comment now.
Thank you, Chair Grumbine. To anyone in the room, if they'd like to speak on this item, please go ahead and fill out a speaker slip and come up to the podium. Not seeing any movement, and we do not have any virtual participants and receive no written correspondence, so I'll turn it back to the commission. Thank you.
All right, to the commission for questions. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Lundvik?
Yeah, it's a beautiful building. I don't know why we're discussing it here. It's so nice. But I do have a question, just a curiosity. I don't see property lines anyplace on your plans.
They're on the site plan.
So the balconies on the north elevation are on your property?
Which balconies?
Well,
Oh, I see. The Juliet balconies?
yeah.
So if you look on the site plan up here, you'll see there's a little bit of a relief, about
Yeah.
21 inches,
Okay.
that balcony will
Okay, so
reside.
that's in there, huh?
Yeah.
And we're actually taking one of the existing windows in Juliet's on the building and reusing it there.
Yeah,
That's on
good.
that elevation.
Okay, other questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Butler.
Do I see awnings on the front?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about the awnings on the front? What color, what, et cetera?
Yes, right now we just have them as like a creamy off-white taupe color. Just really simple. We don't want them to stand out too much, but we wanted to have that same detail that's down the street and give those, doors some shade and make it feel traditional, so.
Are there anywhere else on the building? I think this was the only location.
That
right?
was the only
It was just on
location.
the three on
Yeah.
the front.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question?
other questions?
You have your light on. I have a question. So my question is, why are you here for concept instead of design review?
Because staff needs to make a substantial conformity for our previous mod for the open space, because we still need it for the studio apartment on the first floor.
Okay.
So we've changed the design, so they want your blessing before we go back and get that substantial conformity. Once we get that, we'll be back to you for PDA.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
All right. Okay, I guess the only question I have was to do with the materials and inspiration for the limestone and tile. And this is only at, this is, well, I guess it's not, there's just, we can't make project design approval right now, and this is really a for final approval type of discussion because it's about the materials and that. But what was the inspiration for, I guess, the limestone? I'm trying to think of where some of that precedence might be, and I couldn't tell if some of the photos that you had, they were really small, if they were part of what you were looking at as your inspiration or what for those.
So the only limestone we have is right below the two large windowsills on the right and the left of the entry window, or the entry door.
Yeah, so and then sort of that, where the two elliptical arches are at the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you point to it for?
It's right.
It's right, this
Yeah,
little
that-
darker beige color,
Yeah.
those two areas.
Yeah.
So then,
That limestone is, I think we have it in here, right?
Yes, it's just like a, there it is.
Is it this one?
and then are those images right there that are those inspiration images or is that something else? I couldn't
That's,
tell.
go ahead.
That's a travertine tile for the rooftop deck.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So below is, again, we're gonna have to source that exact material, but that is more of an inspiration image
Okay.
of what we would be looking for.
Okay.
So whether it's a tile or a slab that we cut down to size.
Okay.
Again, it's just, we see a lot of, there is some limestone on State Street under windowsills. There's a lot of cast concrete to look like limestone, which we also love.
Pardon my interruption, but to the applicant, if you don't mind speaking into the mic. Thank you so much.
So that is what we would
Okay.
put under those
Gotcha.
windows.
And then that light fixture there is for,
That is for the alleyways going down to the stairs and to the elevator vestibule.
okay, and then what the sort of volute
The
snail.
Yes, that is a sign light that we would like to put over the sign to the retail store.
Okay, and
So we'll
can you-
illuminate that.
Can you point where that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'll go just to the right of the entry to the retail.
So that's this little black, see that little black?
Oh, got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what that
it's
light
a small little light that will just,
I haven't shown the signage because.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay, great. That was my question.
On the, excuse me,
Commissioner
Chair, on the lighting that you were just going through, can you show us where the light looks like a
The letter
can?
light?
Is that, well, go
okay,
back to
yep,
the,
yeah.
Those are these three lights here and up here.
okay, can we go to the picture of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
This light right here.
yeah, okay.
So it
And,
just shines down.
and what is that material?
It's a coated brass, but it's stainless, like a chrome.
Okay,
And it's
Okay.
supposed to weather with age as well.
okay. And is there a reason why, the snail one looks like a black, I don't know.
It's like, they're all actually like a polished nickel.
Okay.
That's what they are. And
So the finish that we're seeing on the snail one, is that the actual finish?
yes, it's a polished nickel that wears with age, and same with the cast aluminum piece.
I think it's also a little nautical in the title of it too.
So that, the one I'm gonna call it a can, it's like a bullet can, is that one, are you imagining that's the same finish as the snail?
It will look more like that.
Okay,
yes, in
okay,
person,
all
after
right.
age.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Vice Chair Uli.
In general, I like the project. It's a very historic building. But in particular, metallic materials are not supported by our design guidelines. So I would caution not to have metallic, brushed aluminum or or polished. It doesn't. It needs to be black wrought iron. Something that's consistent with the guidelines. I'm not.
What kind of question was that?
It's. I've moved into comments.
Yes. All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, why don't we roll into comments?
Yeah, I'll continue.
Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
go.
The limestone is a great material, and you're right. There are a few examples on buildings that face State Street, but applied after the fact. I mean, it's like a limestone veneer. It's not a solid block. It's like a limestone tile or something. Again, it doesn't seem to be consistent with our design guidelines. So you might consider a stone or something that is more compatible with the design guidelines. But in general, tile is supported, so I like the idea of the colorful tile in the back of the building. I think that is interesting. I like the nod to the 1920s and 30s address being in the threshold of the vestibule of the entry to the building. It reminds me of batteries not included. But in general, I like the project. Just be cautious about metallic materials.
Okay. Let's go next. Commissioner Lemnick?
Are we in comments?
Yes.
I forced us there, sorry.
I appreciate that. Go to the exterior elevation, State Street. I think that the downspouts coming down and simply entering into the building probably need to be a little bit embellished. And I think dropping into a leader head would be more appropriate. You follow what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
I concur.
Yeah, so as they drop down and you can't get them to ground, to put them into a leader head. I think that's a much better way to do it. The other question I had was, you have an I guess it's air conditioning unit, split system or whatever, on the drawing, one of your last drawings. Where is the outside unit?
It's on the roof deck.
Thank you, I don't want to know anymore.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Commissioner Ansberg?
Okay. Well, once again, thank you so much for this great work, and I'm going to try to make this even better than the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So you get, even more support. I think it's really beautiful, and I think that I am sad that it's fewer units. We're trying to get units, but I understand. But so that's a little bit of a disappointment. But I understand why you would do that, and it's not part of our purview. But I think that what I really like about this project is how elegant it is. And so to that whole, just it's, usually I'm the one that's always wanting more color or tile or striped awnings or something. But I just really like how restrained this is and how elegant it is. So I like that about it, that we have a variety in downtown, and that this is the expression that you have chosen to take. So I really like that about it. I especially like the mat, that very traditional, the tile mat at the door. I love that. And I like how you've incorporated the name, into the signage of, is it your mother?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother, yes.
My daughter's name.
It's really beautiful. And, I just think it's really a great project, and I don't have really anything more to say. I think yes, that one light fixture, I like the snail one. I think that's really cool. That sort of bullet one, I think it could be something a little bit more arty. But great job. So look forward to, and sorry that you couldn't get design approval today, but I would have voted for that, but I understand you had to go another hoop. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Commissioner Rivera?
Great project. It sounds like it's fully supportable. My only comments are really in the limestone. If you're going to use the limestone, I like having traditional, more colorful tiles, but I think the license is also very elegant. I don't think the white awnings are going to work, but because they're going to get very dirty. But if you did something like a limestone color, that would kind of help tie it all in a little bit, and that may work. And then my only other comment would be the adding of maybe some kind of a corbels at the end of the fireplace on the side elevation below the fireplace, so it doesn't feel like it's just like an add-on. It's something more like it was designed as part of the original architecture. Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat the corbel thing again? Where?
Go to the side elevation where you see the fireplace. Can you go to that elevation? There.
Yeah, I have it
It has a little
stepped.
detail on it.
Does it have a detail? I can't really see. Oh, okay.
It's stepped right now.
Is it like a little swoop or a curve? Okay, that's fine. I thought it was just a shadow. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
If you look at the side elevation, you can see a little better. You can see it's kind of stepped.
Oh, that's fine. That's great. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Other comments? Commissioner Doran?
Just a very quick comment. I admired this project when we first saw it. I admire it even more now. And my only comment is to note a pattern. We're seeing more and more projects with roof decks. And I don't think that was historically part of the Santa Barbara thing, but we're seeing more and more projects. So I'm very supportive of this.
All right.
Could I add on to
Commissioner
what?
Ansberg, yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I think the reason is because we're going residential. We're seeing more residential projects, which is what we want. And so trying to get more outdoor space for these residential units, I think that's why, or one reason.
Yeah. All right. Commissioner Butler? do you-
Yeah, I moved to the Haight from Santa Barbara centuries ago, right? But the key to the apartment was the rooftop, and people were putting chairs and lounges, and this is San Francisco, where it's foggy and cold, right? But I agree, I think that's probably the inclination. It's a great project. I have no brilliance to add that hasn't already been said, so support it very strongly.
Great. All right. Well, I'll throw my comments in, and then we can look for a motion. So I agree with the fellow commissioners about all the other comments. The only ones I wanted to accentuate are basically just some of the, and these are all for final comments, so you're ahead of the game. But I do want to note that in terms of going with your wall sconces and your pendant light and the travertine limestone, those are all things that they're a little bit not within the EPV guidelines. So just making sure that you're keeping it that Spanish colonial revival or Mediterranean revival, but you're right next to Arlington. So I think a lot of the cues that you have been doing are totally make sense to make it as part of the Arlington complex. So I think that's the right direction as you kind of lean into things. I think the snail probably gets a pass because it's such a fun little thing. But I think those notions. So with the travertine, I think that under the commercial window move is, I think, almost always either straight up plaster or tile, Spanish tile. And it could be that's sort of the simpler move is just go all one color, or you could do other things with it, but it's usually fairly simple on that. And then your back wall allows you to have either more or pattern or different. But I think that just going in that and incorporating the name is fantastic. But even leaning into that tradition, that tile tradition is a great way of having a creative moment there as well. So that would be my notes on it. And your palette could still stay, or it's give slight variation. But I think those are the main things on my point or my end that I'd be looking for next time. But those really are like final kind of comments. All right, so let me summarize here, because there's no final appealable action, but we can comment at least on project compatibility findings and major alteration findings and development plan findings, which will be necessary for project design approval. And then we can go from there. So I think, so first we want to thank the applicant and owner for bringing an elegant and restrained, beautiful project to us, and which is even more improved from the last one that we saw. For the additional notes, or for next time when you come back for project design approval, the wall sconces need to be more EPV, including the metallic material as well as the design. The pendant light to be a little more, it's closer, but it still, I think, needs to be consistent with the EPV and lean into the Spanish colonial revival of Edwards and Plunkett. For the appreciate the additional detail, the address in the vestibule of the tile, very favorable. The downspout to have a leader box or leader head as it goes into the wall for the front elevation, and then the travertine or limestone at the base of the window. I should be specific. It was the limestone for the underneath the elliptical windows to be more Spanish colonial revival with either tile or plaster as an option. And then I think the others, for the most part, all the other comments were heard, and I think that the commission is also seeing that the project compatibility findings have been met, and the major alteration findings and development plan findings are also have been met and supportable. And we look forward to seeing it come back for project design approval. And I guess we could at least, especially if it's the full board, project design approval and final approval, is that sounding reasonable? I mean, I think all the stuff we're talking about is for final approval kind of type of detail, so I think it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so to come back for the full commission.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, Vice Chair.
One clarification, and it's really a question for Commissioner Limvick, and that is the leader box for downspouts. Your comment said only on the front elevation, but I think that it probably is applicable to all downspouts?
You're right. On the back too. Okay, sorry. I had only seen them I was looking at the front when I was.
That is one of the most beautiful alleys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Paseo.
You can.
Paseo.
It's a paseo, it's not an alley.
Paseo. You can only make it better by this building. I mean, it is really spectacular.
Or putting an Edison transformer in the middle.
Well, exactly.
That'll come next.
Chair?
Yes.
I realized we didn't, we're just so struck by how great this is. We didn't really talk about like the window color or anything. And I guess they're coming back with, the final stuff. Can we, I guess it was,
the awnings,
Commissioner Rivera
I didn't.
mentioned the awnings, the white, maybe it should be something. Can we actually make us, encourage them to possibly look at some other colors besides white?
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about the windows, what the color was that you're proposing.
Yeah, and I guess that sounds good. Let's do a question. First, is white really what you're thinking is the right move for these, or is it?
More of a taupe
Okay.
than white, but we are open to looking at that again.
They'll get dirty fast.
Yes.
So, I would encourage them to, even though I think maybe a more, my position would be, it could be a more muted palette, not bright, but to consider, just to study that and see what you think about what that might be, given the awnings and the windows and everything else.
Okay, so I think the comment will be to continue the color study of the awnings and windows and the palette as a whole for the building, and to come back with another refinement and or options if you have multiple ones, especially because you're coming back for project design approval and final approval. So it'd be nice to have an option or two. Okay. Anything else note-wise that I'm missing? Okay, so I'm looking for then a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue the project indefinitely with those comments.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Butler seconded. Any other discussion? All right, a roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Ensberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Lenvick,
Yes.
Commissioner McClure,
I don't think I can vote, right?
Yeah, that's right, abstain.
No, abstain.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Uli,
Yes.
and Chair Grumbine.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, nice job. All right.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. All right, so I think that completes us. So we are adjourned. All right.